Ladies and gentlemen, we finally have a small update on the DoorDash girl, aka Olivia Henderson, the viral woman who ended up recording a man who was passed out in his own home, trying to accuse him of SAing her because I guess the door was open, and she ended up being charged with 2 felonies and might be now facing jail time. And we have some footage of her inside of the courtroom. And the extreme irony in this entire situation is now that she's actually on the other side of these allegations, all of a sudden she doesn't want any cameras involved, which again is ironic because she was very quick to pull her own camera out, record this man attempting to ruin his life. And now that the tables have turned, all of a sudden she wants to hide, she wants to cower, and she has no words for any people who have questions.
Olivia, do you want to say anything about what happened?
And we also finally have an update from an actual police officer confirming some of the theories that some of the things that she said were just fabricated, completely made up.
Some of the claims that she had made on social media after the fact were not in fact true.
Investigators determined the man, drunkenly unconscious on his couch, did nothing wrong. But he found out lewd images of him were published for thousands of TikTok users to see. So police criminally charged Henderson with 2 counts related to unlawful surveillance.
Most of these things were also confirmed by Oswego City's police department's post over here on Facebook. They also put out an actual statement, but it's just a lot easier to read here, saying on October 13th, 2025, an incident was reported to the Oswego Police Department regarding an event that occurred on October 12th. It was reported that a male DoorDash customer had been nude inside his residence when a DoorDash delivery driver dropped off an order. An investigation was initiated by the Oswego Police Department, during which it was discovered that the delivery driver had taken video of the male. The video, along with the subsequent investigation, indicates that the male was incapacitated and unconscious on his couch due to alcohol consumption. So kind of like I figured, a lot of other people figured, this guy was either drunk or he smoked a little something and kind of passed out. It just kind of happens, right? And this investigation confirmed that, indicates that the video was taken from the exterior of the male's residence. The DoorDash driver subsequently posted the video to social media, where it drew significant attention. It was further discovered that the DoorDash driver had made claims of being SA'd during this incident. The investigation by the Oswego Police Department determined that no SA occurred. The male depicted in the video cooperated with police and provided a statement. The investigation ultimately led to the arrest of the DoorDash driver, Olivia Henderson of Oswego, for recording and disseminating the videos. Henderson was charged with the following: 1 count of unlawful surveillance, 1 count of dissemination of an unlawful surveillance image. Again, like we kind of figured, this was a situation where we had a person, obviously this young woman, I feel like is way too chronically online. She sees all these posts about people being SA'd and this and that and Me Too. I understand these are completely real, valid things. There are actual deviant monsters out there and people who probably do have some sort of interest in trying to do things with malicious intent, right? Like flashing, something like that, right? That's something that people were saying that the guy flashed her or something like that. None of that could be proven. All they were able to do was find out that this dude just drank too many beers, passed out on his couch with his eggs hanging out, and that's just the way the cookie crumbled. Now, this is coming from the law offices of Lance Fletcher, who I guess is a former Manhattan prosecutor, and they basically go over what exactly is unlawful surveillance. Of course, me and you are not lawyers. I'm just a commentary channel on YouTube, but I do like to look into these things just so I could get a better grip of what these things mean, because of course they do have very important terms. As you can see right here, unlawful surveillance carries up to 4 years in prison and mandatory blank offender registration. So we're not talking a slap on the wrist always, right? Now, it's basically happens, you get this felony if you were done to secretly view something prohibited, like blank or intimate parts, which we did see, unfortunately, and they were shared onto TikTok. Now, like most laws, kind of like fair use when you're creating YouTube content, you have to factor in all of these points, which is, of course, what someone like a lawyer, something like a prosecutor will determine. For example, the basic elements of unlawful surveillance include it was done for the following reasons: done for amusement, entertainment, profit, to degrade or abuse, blank arousal, blank gratification, or done without knowledge or consent. So again, this would be something the lawyer would have to argue. Did she do this for her own amusement? Did she do it for a comedic effect? Did she think it was funny? Did she just want to make money off of it? You could argue she was doing it to essentially defend herself, to record evidence that she thought would be useful if this ended up going further. Again, I'm just kind of being the devil's advocate, trying to do what I think her lawyer would do in a situation like this to try to get her the lowest punishment she can. It was done by you or someone acting on her behalf. It was done by her. She did record it and post it. It was done to secretly view something prohibited, which can include dressing or undressing. We did see his pants down. Blank or intimate parts. We did see his eggs. Underclothing, such as an upskirt. We didn't see that. Blank conduct. You could argue that. Or if it was done to view the inside of a protected place, which can include a bedroom, changing your fitting room, bathroom, hotel guest room, which wasn't any of those, but it was inside of someone's private home. The thing that I think is really important that we don't really have like 100% confirmation on yet is, was the door open? I hear people say like he had a Ring doorbell, he had some type of camera and she opened the door. I have not seen evidence of that. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I just can't find evidence, right? Like I've asked all over for any type of evidence, even in my own comments, like people who say, oh, there was a Ring doorbell. I'm like, oh, can you link that? Nobody seems to have any. I'm not saying people are liars. I'm just saying I would need that evidence to try to even argue that case. But if there is, the police have seen it, that would obviously show, yeah, there was intent to look inside of a protected private home. Also, you have to factor in intent. If you've been arrested for unlawful surveillance, the government must prove that the recording was intentional and of something that is prohibited or protected. Again, something that the lawyer would argue. If the intent of, again, entertainment, amusement, profit, degradation, any of these things was there. If Olivia is able to argue and get her lawyer to argue and prove that she was possibly fearful for her life, if she was scared, if she wanted evidence or proof, she might be able to get this dropped or lowered, right? That doesn't dismiss the other felony she got for actually sharing this content online, which is another felony again that her lawyer would also have to try to figure out what to do with. But I do think that there's a possibility that she might just be able to get this one lowered. Who knows? And some of the penalties that Olivia may face are up to 4 years in prison, a combination of jail and probation, mandatory blank offender registration, criminal record, employment or immigration consequences, or a fine of up to $5,000 or double the gain from the crime. Now, the reason why there's all those different things is because, of course, lawyers will have to be involved. This is why people go to trial. As much as you and I would just love to say throw the book at this girl because, she tried to ruin this guy's life and whatnot, I do think it is fair to give her a fair trial and let her argue her case, provide her evidence, and him provide his evidence. And whatever comes from that, right? And that can include, again, all of those things. She can get 4 years in prison. She might have to register as a blank offender, right? She might go to jail or get probation. Again, I feel like the fact that this went so viral will end up damaging her. It will be her downfall, essentially. Like, if she just recorded this dude and shared it with, like, a family member or a friend, and somehow it ended up being a legal thing, she might get a slap on the wrist. But the fact that, like, the entire internet knows about this and probably millions of people have seen that video of that man because it was shared online uncensored, there's a big problem. Unfortunately, Olivia put herself in a bad spot. I personally don't think her life is ruined, right? Like, even then, she might not even go to jail, right? She's probably just going to get like a pretty massive fine. She might even work something out with the customer because the fact that she's not already in jail and she's just roaming around on the street still, albeit her TikTok account has been inactive for quite some time, she's still essentially a free woman. And also, judging by the quality of her content on Instagram, I will just say, I feel like this woman will not struggle to find a different path in life. Just look at that profile picture, right? I'm not shaming the woman. I think she's honestly very attractive, except the fact that when she crashed out, you could see the real side of her, her non-makeup face where she's screaming into the camera. I'm thankful that the man was able to prove his case and not have his own life ruined. His DoorDash account's banned, all right? So he can't smoke or drink anymore and order Taco Bell and pass out on his couch anymore, at least from what I know. And that's about it, guys. Again, let me know if you haven't watched my last video on this. I kind of just recapped it again in this one, so you're not missing much. And that's about all we have now. I'm guessing there's going to be a new video for you guys in January because that's the next time her court case is. Thank you for watching. Peace out, my friends. Bye.